Welcome to Nice Minds, everybody. Today I am joined by an amazing individual, my friend DJ Hayes. How you doing, Hayes?
I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I am doing just fine considering this crazy year.
I feel you.
So I know you from IPR, Institute of Production and Recording. We were in, I think, a couple classes together, but Logic for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in Logic Pro together, and I don't think we really became homies until after IPR, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, like we knew each other. We've had conversations before, but we didn't really work together until after I was out of IPR, and that's
that's
when
true.
I filled in for Nick Twist on a handful of your shows, and
Yep.
yeah, we just kind of started kicking it that way. Actually, I heard about Nur-D through you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because I remember I got on this house. I was the house DJ for CMJ's Get Out the Vote show.
Okay.
At Honey. This is like 2 years ago now, maybe 3 years ago,
probably.
And Nur-D was on the bill. He was the opener, and I remember talking to you like in the beginning before anybody started performing. Be like, who is this guy? Because I know that you had booked him, I think, once previous to that.
Yeah, we did
something.
a track. We did a track, and I think I had put him on at least a show at that point.
Yeah, and you were like, this cat's amazing. You got to check him out. And then that was the first show that him and I ever did together, which kind of snowballed into us working together.
Wow, I had no idea. That's crazy. I mean, a lot of people tell me stories like that about how I introduced them to so-and-so. I mean, like there's sort of babies that are born because I've introduced couples. Like, it's like I have that magic touch, my friend. I have that magic touch. I don't know why, but when I met you, you were a rapper and your name was Rumor. And so tell me about your background in music. And I know you're like a multi-instrumentalist. You play saxophone. You're a beast with that. So like, how'd you get started with music?
So my start with music was actually saxophone. I picked that up in 7th grade. In 6th grade, the first instrument I ever learned was clarinet. I learned clarinet. I hated it because all I wanted to do was be in jazz band, and they let me be in jazz band, but I would just hide behind the trumpet parts. And I don't want to do that. I wanted to be one of those crazy dudes soloing all the time. So I had taught myself saxophone, like fell in love with jazz and blues, funk that way. At some point, my older brother was big when he was in college. He was big into spoken word poetry. He was doing like national competitions and stuff, I believe. Yeah, he won one at one point, and he wanted to like cross over into the hip hop world, and he knew that I was getting into music. So he bought me, when I was like 13, 14, he bought me FL Studio. And that was kind of my transition into like recording and producing music.
So rapping just came shortly after that then?
Well, it actually came because my older brother Nick hates when I when I put it like this, but it really just kind of came because like when I started sending him beats, he didn't like them, or like I was still learning, right? So they weren't like good enough to like be used on like a professional level. And so then I just kind of went away and stopped sending him stuff for like 6 months and just started grinding at it, getting good at it. And then when I would send him stuff, he was still in school, so he was very busy. So I would always get so impatient waiting for him to send me something back that I was like, why don't I just see what I would do with this? And I got into it, and I wasn't bad. I'll say that. But there was definitely a certain point in my career where I kind of had to prioritize like the things that I was better at. And that's kind of when DJing became like a full-fledged thing for me. So
that's what's up, man. Yeah, because I mean, I've collaborated with you on numerous occasions, numerous ways. I mean, I've put you on shows as a rapper. I think I've probably put you on shows as a DJ as well.
You were the only one that really put me on shows as a rapper. At the time.
I suppose. Yeah,
I didn't do a lot of shows.
I guess I didn't really think about it that way, but yeah. And then you've also played saxophone on some stuff as well. So we collaborate all over the place. So how has your transition into being a DJ been? I mean, was that like a smooth, natural transition for you, or?
I've had a set of turntables since I was like 16. and I'd always liked it. Like I always thought it was cool. I guess I should say, like the DJs, those guys are cool. Like, but I didn't even really know what it was. Because when I first started, I was doing all local hip hop shows. Because I thought that's what you did as a DJ. Is you did,
Yep.
you DJ'd for rappers, you did hip hop shows. I was working at this restaurant out in Excelsior called Coalition with this girl named Billy, who was childhood best friends with Bob Eno. And
Oh,
so
okay.
when she found out that I was like doing all that, she took me out to Coup d'etat at the time when it was like Bob Marino and Jimmy at a track like every weekend together.
Yep.
And so she brought me out there to see that, and I saw that, and it was that first night where I was like, "Whoa, you can do this!" It was like packed out. It was cracking. They were having a good time. They were killing it, and I was like, "You could like this is DJs can do this?" Because I grew up in small town Wisconsin, so I don't
Right.
come from an area where you ever see that.
Yep.
Um, that night was really what it was. I went back to that club every Friday, Saturday night for like 5 or 6 weeks
That's
to
dope.
go see those guys and just like try and hang out, or like I'll go I'll grab them drinks from the bar. I'll handle song requests for you so you don't have to deal with people.
Yeah.
And Bob Marino just kind of took me under his wing. Him and I started hanging out a lot, and dude taught me everything he knew.
That's crazy. So yeah, because then you started rolling with the Slipmats crowd,
Yep, I did
and
that for a while.
all of a sudden, my buddy Nemo, and me and Nemo literally go back 18 years. I mean, we're high school friends,
Hmm.
and he was one of the first, the first DJ that I ever performed with on stage. Like, I mean, I was neighbors with him, so him and I, like, I didn't have my license, so I would just walk over to his house and we'd roll to shows, like, so I really like cut my teeth with him as far as like going out in the local scene and doing stuff. So it's crazy. It's such a small world, man. It's really crazy how you ended up rolling with them and then
Yeah.
and then Nur-D as well. So you kind of already explained the whole Nur-D thing, but it's crazy to see. I mean, your guys' growth over the last like year and a half, however long you've been working with him, like 2 years or whatever. I mean,
Well,
it's
2 years now. Yeah.
yeah, it's just insane. And I mean, he is one of the dudes that like I don't know if there's a better artist in Minnesota than him. Like literally, like he is like my favorite rapper here. Like I mean, bar none. Like he is like has the whole package. Has I mean,
I don't want to be like biased or say that he's like, obviously, like for me, I don't want to be biased and say he's definitely my favorite in
yeah.
Minnesota. And
Well,
what I
that's what
will
I'm
say
saying. Yeah,
is I don't think there's anybody who works as hard as him.
yeah. I mean, for real.
I don't. He is definitely the hardest working artist in
Yep.
Minneapolis for sure.
Yeah, for real. I mean, because I met him online. I don't even remember if we got. I don't think we got introduced or anything. I think I just hit him up and I was like, "Hey, man, I love your voice. I love your sound. I would love to get you on this track." Or I had a couple tracks that I possibly wanted him on, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll kill both of them." I'm like, "All right, sweet." And this was like 2 years ago, and it was this song "Be Free" that actually didn't end up getting finished until like last year. And he came in and like didn't know any of us, and like first time we met and just killed it, just bodied it.
Hmm.
And I was like, holy shit. Like I was just like I was getting goosebumps just watching him record.
Yeah, that's
And
just one of his performance is
yeah,
that was always the crazy thing, because ever since that show at Honey, when I backed his set for him, and I was like, yo, I honestly, like, I got like a feeling that I've never had before, because I've never done a show with someone who was like he was so good. Like, it was clear to me right away that he knew like exactly what sounds good and how to make that happen.
yep.
um but even beyond that, his performance was so energetic and just like a wave of positivity that he would spread through the room. That was just something I had never seen from an artist here before, which actually it led to me booking him at Bars and Brews a couple
Oh
months
yeah.
later. And it was after that show that he had hit me up to start DJing for him.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, like you said, he just radiates positivity, and he's just one of those dudes that literally nobody can say a bad thing about him. Like, I mean, I've never heard anybody criticize him ever. Like, he's like hater proof
He
to
talks a
me.
lot of shit. I can say that.
I guess, but
him and I have a running joke with each other that when people ask, is he really that nice? It's like, nah.
nah, son. I mean, I've definitely seen like his posts, and I've seen him get pissed, and I've seen him get passionate. But it's always rooted in good. It's always rooted in positivity.
He's a really good dude.
Yeah.
He's hands down. He's definitely one of the best, like just people all around. Like as far as like his moral guidelines and how he sticks to those and how he treats other people.
Yeah.
There's definitely very few people like that out there, I would say, which is one of the things that attracted me to working with him for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I mean, so this year has just been insane. I mean, obviously like shows have been completely cut off, and I mean, you guys really like hit it hard. Like when the George Floyd stuff happened, like you guys were just like out there, like helping people left and right. And so talk about that a little bit. I mean, so you guys started like a crew of like aid for people getting hurt, right?
Yeah. So the way all that really started was Matt was out there the first 2 nights with his fiance. I didn't know that I should have probably figured he was going out there. I didn't know he was going out there. But the first night was like him, our friend Deshan, who now kind of handles the day-to-day for Justice Frontline Aid, and his fiance. Well, the Target was on fire, and everybody's losing their minds. They're running around this parking lot from this abandoned first aid station somebody left, trying to help people.
Yeah.
Then it kind of came a point for me where at the time I was very I really wanted to be out there. I really wanted to support the community and just be a part of like holding it down, like I don't stand for any of that either. The first couple of nights, I think I'm still on probation. And so that was like a big thing for me. But after that, I was like, like I can't let my dude go out there and do this alone.
For real.
Was like the first big thing for me. So then I started helping the day-to-day. We started it kind of turned into like a distribution center almost. We at Modest, where we just set up at Modest and we just started taking donations of anything like day-to-day personal hygiene products, non-perishable foods, anything we could do to help the people for these, grocery stores were burned down in these communities, that kind of stuff. But we started getting so much that it was to the point that we started getting like a couple of trucks a day and just having trucks drive around and drop off at all these pickup centers in these communities. So it just kind of turned into like a central location for us. And then we were organizing medical teams at night to be at these protests, because it was clear to us that, I mean, the police were out there fucking people up, like hurting, like almost killing people, and not giving a shit. If you call 911, they're either going to hang up on you or tell you no.
Yep.
Like if you get stabbed out there, if somebody's not there to help you, you're probably going to die.
Yep.
And that was like very clear to us. And so we were like, okay, well, we need to, if nobody else is going to figure out how to do this, and we need to figure out how to do this.
Yeah. Definitely.
So it was just kind of like a snap decision. Like, yo, we got the pull, we got the reach to get people on board. Like, we got to do something.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a no-brainer decision.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I personally, I wanted to be out there, but I work at a group home full time. So, I was very much like, I was torn. And so I mean, I just donated all I could, and like whatever, like anybody was like, however I could support from a distance, I did. but you guys were like, I just commend you guys for all the work that you guys did. I mean, it was very honorable, and I really appreciate it. And it was crazy. I mean, you guys got arrested on Facebook Live. Like that
and
was.
and CNN. We found out
Oh,
later.
was it on CNN too?
We had a fan sent Matt a picture off their TV of us on CNN the next morning, and we were like, "Whoa!" Not necessarily how we wanted to get on national news, but
Yeah.
at least we're on national news.
But I mean, bro, like I cried when I saw that. I mean, that was crazy because like just the whole scene. I mean, you guys were at the Capitol, and uh, everybody was singing. What was it? Lean on Me, was it?
Yeah, so there were about 45, anywhere from 45 to 60 people, I'd say, there in total.
Yeah.
And they came in with like 150 cops
Holy shit.
and surrounded the whole area. And these
It
people
was
these people
chilling,
are
man.
sitting in the grass, holding hands,
Yep.
singing, and they come in, shoving people over, knocking people over, holding them down, zip tying them. Matt and I were around the perimeter. We had two other people with her as well. Matt's fiance Sarah, her younger sister Tori, was there, and just Sarah Holmes, who works with JFA, was there, and we kind of had like a diagonal stretch set up towards like what seemed to be like the best exit for everybody, because as these things happen, people get hurt as they're running away.
Oh yeah.
And so we create a line back towards what we feel like is the best possible exit. So as people run, we can fall back and keep helping people all the way out. But we all got arrested. They came in and they corralled us. They got us. We knew we were going to get arrested walking in.
Oh, for sure. I believe it.
We were walking because, I don't know if you've ever been like up to the Capitol, but when you come down through St. Paul, they got like those 3 bridges
Yep.
that cut over the highway there.
I used to drive by it all the time on my way to work, but
There were National Guard vehicles blocking every single bridge. And when we were walking in, one of the National Guard guys was like, "You guys want some water?" Like, knowing like y'all are about to get fucked up.
oh my God.
But we walked in and we were like, "Yeah, we're probably getting arrested tonight, but we're not gonna let people be out here and not safe."
For real.
So
Yeah. That was
and
crazy.
we didn't give a shit. When we actually got arrested, first of all, I was very mad that I was getting arrested for just
sure.
being outside.
Yeah.
Second of all, I was a little worried. I remember when we were standing in line in the parking garage at the jail while they're checking our bags before we go in. I remember I told Matt, I was like, "Dude, if they don't let me out of here, like, call my girlfriend at the time worked for a defense firm."
Oh wow.
So I was like, call her, because I was on probation and I didn't know if they were going to try and violate me for this or,
Oh yeah.
So, but it's one of those things where it's, we stepped up initially to help people, and we weren't gonna stop. We weren't gonna let them scare us.
Right. Yeah, I mean that was chilling, man. I mean, I remember just watching it, and I mean not only were like you guys singing pretty much like the whole time, just the scene of it and like the way that the cops surrounded you guys. I mean, it was like I bawled. I probably just was like crying my ass off, man. Like it was crazy.
It was
Like,
very aggressive for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, fuck, the way the police treated people this year. I mean, and every year, but like just fuck the police, man. Like that
For
shit.
sure.
is
Absolutely.
Like, fuck the police, man. Like fuck.
Yep.
Like, for real, man. I mean, if anything, it just like 2020 just amplified it and proved what I've been thinking and feeling all along.
Yeah. I think for a lot of people, it really brought it home.
Yeah.
I mean, this shit's been happening, especially in this city. We have one of the worst police departments
sure.
when it comes to this type of behavior. But for a long time, I feel like you didn't know unless you looked, and a lot of people didn't want to look.
Yep.
But now you can't not see it.
Yeah,
And I
you
think
can't.
like even though it like the way they reacted to protests, um the way they handled all these situations in such a violent way,
Yep.
it is shitty for sure. But I think the silver lining in it is that a lot more people can't not look.
Yep. Can't look away.
And whether that means you're either like fuck these protesters or fuck the police, either way we know where you stand.
Yep.
And that was a big part of this year for everybody. I'm sure with
Yeah.
you, with anybody, especially with the way social media is used to voice
Yep.
your opinions these days. There's a lot of people out here that you thought you were homies with that have some
Yeah.
very interesting takes.
Yeah. I mean, this is definitely, I mean, I've recorded probably like 6 or 7 of these so far, and we haven't gotten this deep about this stuff, but the thing that does keep coming up, whether it's about the music industry or that stuff in general, is this year has been a big purging year. It's like all the bullshit is just that's always been there is just coming up to the surface, and we just get like a good view of it, and we get to kind of pick and choose now who we still want to fuck with. And
yeah, 2020 is not the year to be fucking up because everybody's got time.
Yep. Everybody's got time.
And they'll drag you.
Yep.
They will drag you.
Straight up. So many people have gotten dragged this year. I mean, for well-deserved, too. Well-deserved. Yeah. So as far as, like, I mean, I asked this with everybody, but what do you see happening going forward in, like, 2021 and beyond? Like, whether it be, like, the music industry or these protests and stuff. I mean, do you think that this year will be a huge turning point and change?
I really hope so.
Yeah, me too.
I really want to feel hopeful about it.
Yeah.
But then like the reality half of my brain is like it's never changed before.
Right.
I don't think anything. So as far as the topic we were just talking about with the police and all that, that's not going to change in a year. I know that. Yeah. As far as the music industry goes, I think some things are going to shift, and I'm not exactly sure what it is.
Yep.
I think about this every day.
Me too. Because
I really would like to get on top of it if I can.
Yeah.
Be the first one to figure it out. But I think there's going to be I don't think live streaming is going to go away. There's a lot of like virtual reality tech and opportunities that I've been seeing.
Oh yeah.
That are going to be a big thing. I can't really get too much into that right now, but that's going to be a big thing. I think that the whole internet age of performing is not going to just go away.
Right.
Because I think especially like, so let's say this summer of 2021, they open everything up back to normal, right? There's still going to be a lot of people that don't feel comfortable and safe in those kind of environments.
Yep.
Which is, I 100% get. That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't know that I will.
Right.
So I think it's going to be, I think this internet market with the live stream is going to somehow kind of open a new niche for people in the industry, but I don't know exactly how that's going to play out, but trying to be ready for all of it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I think this is a year that's going to change everything, and it's going to be really interesting to see what happens going forward, whether positive or negative. But I hope that I've mentioned this a lot. I think it's definitely given people a chance to take a look around and to kind of see who's out there and who's doing what.
Because I think a lot of people missed out.
Oh yeah.
A lot of the looking around, a lot of artists this year kind of just, I feel like a lot of people didn't try. Which is understandable. It's understandable that like it's very easy to fall when something like this comes out of nowhere.
Yep.
And you've been busting your ass for the last 3 years to get away from where you are now to try and move up higher.
Yep.
And this comes out of nowhere and it's out of your control. That's the worst.
For real.
and I think a lot of people got like demotivated by it.
Yeah.
And just a lot of people sat at home feeling bad for themselves.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, at the start of it,
which kind of sucks. I would have liked to see more people try,
Yeah, I definitely, at the start of it, that's kind of how I was feeling. I mean, I was like, okay, what do I do? Because I'm like, okay, I have to social distance because I work at a group home, and for a lot of reasons. But how do I still do what I do? And that's why I started the sample pack endeavor, and we've been doing that,
which
stuff.
was tight.
Yeah, thank you, man. Yeah, we've been killing it with that, and then I shut down the way that Nice Guy Entertainment was kind of laid out. So it's not really a crew of artists anymore. It's just going to go forward as my personal brand. And I'm going to do things like this, like with this podcast and the sample packs and my beat selling and just different things going forward where I'm not booking shows and I don't have a studio really to record artists. So it doesn't really make sense to run it as like a crew or a label anymore. So it's definitely one of those years that is a turning point for sure.
Yeah, you got to really, it's one of those things where you got to hustle.
Yep.
Like everybody, this put everybody, it doesn't matter whether you were on top of the city or on the bottom of the pile. This put everybody at the same level.
Yep.
This is like a do-over year for everyone.
The playing field for real.
Anybody could have come out and just killed that shit.
Yep.
Out of nowhere.
Yep.
And been the shit coming into 2021. If they reopen stuff this summer, they could have been on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, we panicked.
I bet.
We lost all of our shit. March 14th was the day that like everything was like finalized that we're all shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was going to be that was a Friday. It was going to be Monday. That Sunday, we were scheduled to be the feature artist for the Minnesota United home opener.
Damn.
And so we were like super jazzed. Like,
yeah,
that's a lot of people. So that got canceled on Friday. Our whole year basically got canceled that day.
Wow.
And we were like, holy shit. Like, what do we do? There was a lot of freaking out.
Yeah.
And then going away from each other, and then a phone call that day where we booked live streams when we started the Minnesota
I remember that. Yeah.
Artist Relief. That day, before the end of that day, we booked a whole week of live streams. We got 2 at Matt's house, 1 at my house, and then 1 at a studio, at my buddy's studio. We just set the whole thing up. We booked artists that we could pay via donations because we were like, nah. Because like the last thing we did was play a sold out First Ave main room.
Yep. I forgot about that.
Like we were like that. We did it. Like we achieved a goal that neither of us knew if we would ever be able to achieve.
Yep.
We were at the point where you had to set a new top goal. So we were like, 2020 is going to be the shit. So at that moment on that day, we were like, no, we absolutely refuse to just lay down and die. Fuck
yeah. For real.
Like, and that year leading up to that was like some of the worst, at least financial times that him and I have had. We took a lot of risks and not all of them paid off.
Yeah.
Not all of them paid off. So we were like, nah, we're already here.
Yeah.
Like we're not scared. We've been broke. Like we're not scared.
For real.
So
that's dope, man. I mean, yeah, you guys have been killing it, man. It's been so dope to see you guys out there. I mean, just like with all that ways you guys have been helping the community and musically, I mean, you guys are definitely just still out there, and it's, I mean, I couldn't be happier for you guys, and it's just been really admirable. I mean, like I see you guys, and Brandon Pulfus too is another dude that like really killed it this year too.
That dude is the homie.
Yeah. For real.
So like right at the beginning of 2020, I already knew dude through doing shows with him and Matt.
Yep.
But right at the beginning of 2020, when I was still living in Richfield, he moved into my apartment building.
Really?
So he lived in the unit right above me.
Crazy.
And so we kicked it all the time, and we worked with him. I've been working on some music with him.
That's dope.
That cat, you can listen to anything he does, and you can set a level that you think he's at. But I
Yep.
promise you, he's better.
Yep.
If that guy knew what he was walking into, I would put him, like, if he had time to prepare, I'd put him up against any lyricist in the Twin Cities right now.
I agree.
And he'll body him.
I agree. And I mean, I've known him for probably like maybe a year and a half now, 2 years. 2019, I think was like kind of when we started working together. No, I put him on a show. I didn't even really know him. I put him on a show, and it was 2 years ago this month, because I remember I think it was our Christmas show, and I think we put I think Nur-D was on that too. I don't know if you ended up DJing that show or not, but I want to say Brandon and Matt ended up doing that show, and I had met him, and I kind of liked his stuff, and he happened to work with my brother at the time, I guess. So like we had that weird connection.
Oh, word.
And last year was like the worst year of my life. So it was just like a shit show left and right. But I got him in the studio, and we were like, he was like, man, like I like the way you engineer, and he's like, well, I might want to come back and start doing more. And then like I slept on his track for a while because like my personal life was just a mess. But he ended up like doing all this big shit, and it's just been dope to see him like grow.
Yeah, it's he did a feature on the 38th record, Black Kid White Town.
Yeah,
which video just dropped yesterday.
Oh yeah, dude.
Shit's dope.
Plug that. Yeah, hell yeah. You mixed that, right? Or did you record and mix it?
I recorded and mixed that and mastered that whole record.
Oh, dope, man. You did a fucking fantastic job on that, man. Like
I appreciate it.
That's some of your best work as an engineer.
That is my best work.
Yeah.
For sure, hands down.
Yeah.
I remember when that was done, I was listening through it with my brother in his car. At the time I didn't have a car, so I was using my brother to car test. And I was like, yo.
Yeah.
I killed it on this.
Yeah,
I don't even know what I did.
You did. For real. I was like, damn, Ryan mixed this? Holy shit. Like you guys killed that record, man. And
we got the part 2 coming out on the
December
26th, Chicago
right?
Avenue. Yep.
Nice.
And Brandon Paulfus is on that one as well.
Sweet.
We gave him a little bit longer of a feature. He killed it.
That's what's up.
I'm excited for everybody to hear it.
It's another full length?
Yeah, it's another, I think it's 10 tracks, 11 with an outro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, by the time this comes out, it'll be already out. So everybody needs to go check that out.
They do need to go check that out.
Hell yeah.
And look up Brandon Paulfus, because he's the shit.
And look up Brandon Paulfus as well. Who else? Anybody else that we should kind of look at like in 2021 and beyond besides those two?
I know that Dwynell Roland is making a comeback right now.
Oh, for real.
Him and I got in the studio together a handful of weeks ago. We got a single dropping together on the 28th. So next Monday.
That's what's
actually. So, which is fire, and it's something I've never heard from him before. So I'm excited.
You produced it? Well. Did you engineer it and produce it and all that?
Yep.
Nice. Because yeah, you've done beats for him in the past.
I did one for him in the past.
Okay.
Yep. I did his track Gunfight.
Nice.
I did in the past when I was still going under the name Rumor. Yeah.
Yep, I remember that. Hell yeah.
He only comes to me for bangers.
Yeah. Dude, and you crank out beats, dude, and like your stuff bangs too. And
I appreciate that.
You're one of the most talented cats that I've had the privilege of working with, man, and I appreciate you coming on this podcast and for just being the homie, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate you. That's very nice.
Hell yeah. Thank you again, man, and I will talk to you soon.
Yeah, of course. No problem, man. You have a good day.
You too, man. Peace.